Popular acne products were just recently recalled over elevated levels of cancer-causing ingredients. From brands like La Roche-Posay to Proactive, many of the ingredients that teens and adults use to combat acne have been just deemed by the FDA as dangerous due to elevated levels of benzene. 6 products from La Roche-Posay, Proactive, Walgreens, and SLMD have all been recalled at the retail level, not the consumer level, due to increased benzene levels. What does this mean? How am I going to treat my acne? How am I going to do my skincare routine now if I can't get my hands on La Roche-Posay? What does that mean for me? It's over. It's over. Actually, no, it's not. In this video, we're going to discuss what these recent recalls mean and how you can continue to take care of your skin with safer ingredients. Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Kale. I am a doctor of pharmacy candidate documenting both medical and non-medical mysteries on my journey to the PharmD. As of March 11, 2025, the FDA sent an alert to the public and the industry of new agency testing of 95 acne products containing benzoyl peroxide for possible benzene contamination. More than 90% of these tested products had undetectable or low levels of benzene, but once they initiated an independent testing, they uncovered that there were actually elevated levels of benzene in many of the popular products that consumers use. I was literally in my room chilling, doom scrolling as people will usually call it, and I just got this alert from the Citizen app. If you don't have the Citizen app, you really should get it. And it said several of these products have just been recalled. So I instantly clicked and I just went through and looked through the list, and I was shocked to see a couple names, popular names that people hold to such high regard and use often. The 6 products that have been recalled and are under investigation include La Roche-Posay Effaclar Duo Dual Acne Treatment, Walgreens Acne Control Cleanser, Proactive Emergency Blemish Relief Cream Benzoyl Peroxide 5%, Proactive Skin Smoothing Exfoliator, SLMD Benzoyl Peroxide Acne Lotion, and Walgreens Tinted Acne Treatment Cream. These companies voluntarily agreed to take these products off of the shelves, but just to note that these are recalled on the retail level, not on the consumer level. This essentially means that the companies that had these products on their shelves removed them, but if you already bought them and they're in your house, you don't have to dispose of them immediately or stop use of them immediately. For me personally, if I was in possession of these and they had this alert go out and these elevated levels of this chemical was in the products that I was using on the most sensitive part of my body, I would not be using these. I would just yeet them into the trash immediately. But that's just me. Essentially, this specific batch number were deemed as inappropriate to use. The other batches that were already pushed out, they essentially didn't have these elevated levels of benzene. Now, the main case is understanding what benzene is and how it affects you as a consumer. Over my 5 years of pharmacy school and the many labs that we had to conduct using different compounds that contain the benzene structure within it, it is no doubt that benzene is in many different formulations, chemical compounds, plastics. Benzene is a naturally produced substance, hence why it is in so many of the products that we use, both natural and man-made. Everybody using benzene. I mean, everybody using benzene, okay? We got a La Roche-Posay on the left, we got a CeraVe on the right, and we got a Proactive smacking us right upside the head in the middle. Do y'all remember before brands like Apostrophe and Curology came out, we had Proactive that was sitting on the throne, crowned never shifted, it never tilted, and it was the trio hell all be-all trio treatment for prepubescent teens. Proactive had its foot on everybody's neck, okay? Now, I'm not gonna lie, it definitely did its big one for many years. I would say generally did the job when it initially came out. But one thing to note about these trio kits is that they are just an initial introduction for teens going through puberty that are just initially being introduced to acne to get in contact with certain ingredients that are supposed to target these blemishes that we're facing. I don't think I've come across anybody that has used any of these trio kits for a long, extensive period of time, especially into the adult years. Because of its high appeal, benzene has a high production value, as it is one of the 20 most widely used chemicals in the US. And not only that, can you believe that benzene is a natural product, part of crude oil, gasoline, and cigarette smoke? Yeah. Some industries use benzene to make other chemicals that are used to make plastics, resins, and nylon and synthetic fibers. It is also used to make detergents, drugs, dyes, some types of lubricants, pesticides, and rubbers. Interesting how the same chemical used in some of these harsh ingredients are the same things that we're putting on our face. It's quite literally shocking. I remember when Vaseline was like the #1 product to use on your face to get that flawless, low effort skin. And then it was discovered that they use it in like manufacturing and like car parts. Now, before you get your undies in a bunch and start yeeting all of your Vaseline or your petroleum products out the window, just because something is used synergistically for a lot of harsher things and our skin doesn't mean that it doesn't serve a great purpose in the long run. And it doesn't mean that it's a terrible product overall. Heck, I still even use Vaseline as a lip balm before I go to sleep and when I wake up, because it is just so simple. It gets the job done, and it's really great in the winter months just to keep your lips nice and moisturized. I'm not gonna sit here and act like Vaseline is like the enemy out here, the same way that I'm not gonna sit here and act like benzoyl peroxide is the enemy. The main suspicion is the recall. And the recalls occurred because of elevated levels of benzene. Somewhere in the manufacturing batch, somebody had to include an extra dose of heavy-handedness into the manufacturing process. Benzoyl peroxide and even other things like salicylic acid are main acne-fighting ingredients, and I know many people, including myself, use it a lot to target acne or breakouts as they come throughout teens and even adult years. One thing to note about benzene is that using it in large amounts is not the healthiest, which means if you are in the mirror slathering on large amounts of your clindamycin benzoyl peroxide cream all over your face in hopes of decreasing that pimple size in a faster time frame, you might find yourself worse off. I realized a similar pattern with another ingredient called hydroquinone. Hydroquinone is a lightening cream used for dark marks, melasma, and any other skin imperfections from the sun. But it's recently been banned and blacklisted by many countries because of its link to possible cancer, liver issues, and weird blue patches on the skin. Again, these events are rare, and there are instances where this did happen. But when it did, it was due to using large amounts at one period of time or using it over large areas of the body as opposed to just the affected area, and also using large amounts to decrease the visibility of the perceived skin imperfection in a shorter period of time. I would never say to disagree with health organizations, as they have been tried and true to tell us what is good or bad for our bodies and the overall health and well-being of us as a population. However, I do know of some healthy alternatives that many of you guys might be interested in if this benzene scare is giving you a bit of anxiety about what you should be using in your products, and I think they'll be really helpful. And to be sure that you never miss any health update, be sure to like and subscribe to this channel so that you never miss out on any of my future posts. I know there are a lot of cleansers with the benzene ingredient in it. For a lot of these things to work and to really get deep and settle into the acne is for it to not be washed off in generally like 20 seconds or so, or however long you wash your face, unless it's like a chemical peel with a high strength that should be washed off. The first thing I found is that sulfur washes are generally pretty good, especially for my skin. Sulfur is a great natural acne fighting ingredient. It has low irritability. My skin absorbs it. It like slurps it up so well. I started off with a sulfur wash that was prescribed. I found that my skin loved it, and then I stopped using it, tried some other things, and my skin was like, oh, get that away from me. Took that into consideration, and although I still don't use a prescribed sulfur wash, I do still use sulfur soap, as I do get them from the Caribbean. But that's just me. I am a Caribbean girl, so I get access to those soaps pretty easily, and I do go to these like local shops in the Caribbean and support those small businesses that way.
Interesting, very interesting.
There are many success results of people utilizing sulfur within their routine, especially in a soap form as like their cleansers or their washes. However, you should be sure to check if you do have a sulfur allergy, as sulfur allergies are big things that occur. At least that's what I know from pharmacy school. They're always like, oh, does this patient have a sulfur allergy? They cannot use this, then the third. And I'm just like, okay, I get it. People have sulfur allergies. Before you start and be like, oh, let me go get that sulfur soap that she's talking about, get a blood test. See if you're allergic to sulfur in any way. And if not, trust me, your skin gon' thank you. Now, toners are hit or miss for me. I don't generally go ahead and be like, I need a toner. I see so many different things coming up from like, oh, this is a great new toner to use. I remember the Ordinary was a big one. And now this Korean skincare brand called Anua, A-N-U-A, Anua. Toners are like a trend at this point. They like it. One brand is the best one and another one. I personally try not to get sucked up in that. I was at one time, I almost did. A lot of the times we don't need so many harsh ingredients attacking our skin cells, because then our skin is going to get so pissed off in the general long run. I try to keep it simple. I try not to break the bank in terms of toners. If a toner is like $50 and up, I'm like, yeah, you're tripping. Simple things that have worked, like witch hazel or aloe vera toners. I do like Dickinson's witch hazel. I think they do really good because they have like calming ingredients like lavender, aloe vera. If you have the means, you should spend it. But I feel like if you want to save that money and keep it to like invest it somewhere, I feel like that's the better thing, instead of like spending the average is like buying one toner every 1 or 2 months. Like, you could keep that money if you want to get a cheaper toner. Witch hazel's there. It's been good. It's $10 and below. It doesn't irritate the skin and it doesn't break the banks. Aloe Derma does have some good products based on its $20. So again, I wouldn't be going up to that $20 area, but if you do want something that's not like reaching like $48 to $50 for a toner, those are some pretty good options. Now, a great acne ingredient that is natural, that is a great alternative to any benzene containing product I found personally was azelaic acid. It is probably the best thing as an alternative. One, because it does not bleach any of my clothes, any of my sheets, as benzoyl peroxide used to do. That used to irritate me. I used to be so mad. So many shirts, I would think like I'm cleansing all my skin. I'm like making sure everything's good, and I was still fine. Like the rim around my shirt or like my pillowcases, like ugh. And they warned me. They were like, yeah, it's gonna bleach clothes and stuff. How severe can it be? Honey, it's severe. Azelaic acid works so well because it is a naturally occurring acid found in grains like wheat, rye, and barley, and it's also produced by the yeast Malassezia furfur, which resides on healthy skin. Now, in the initial use, when I switched over to azelaic acid from using benzoyl peroxide, there was like some tingling, some irritation. At least let it sit and chill for 20 seconds on your skin and then follow on with like a moisturizer. I honestly preferred it. I was like, okay, calm down a little bit. And then once you get to like the second week, you hardly even notice the tingle. I like that it doesn't bleach any of my clothes or my pillowcases.
And that's on period.
I also think that a reason for the initial irritation was because it was using benzoyl peroxide before. My skin already has that yeast on it. It was like introducing this extra amount that's coming in to help fight the acne, and I was just getting used to it. It's gonna be a little bit of a transition, but other than that, it should be pretty well tolerated for most people. Of course, I still have breakouts, especially coming from a teen and being a young adult and still in college. Azelaic acid has been a game changer. I don't think I'm ever going to give it up. I really like it and I prefer it. But again, before you even try any of these things, you should consult with your PCP anyways. Another ingredient is tretinoin. It also is a great ingredient, although I don't use it very often. It is a retin A, which is a derivative of vitamin A. And one thing about vitamin A, as it is a fat soluble vitamin, that does cause dryness. the main thing that you will face with tretinoin. And as you go up in strength, you get a lot more peeling, a lot more irritation. If you are hoping to get pregnant or are pregnant, tretinoin is one thing that should be stayed away from. If you feel like you're dependent on tretinoin and you need it even during pregnancy, finding those alternatives early on so tretinoin isn't the only thing that you're using can be really good in case you have those breakouts. I like the 0.025% one because it has probably the least amount of irritation. Probably use it like once, maybe twice a week, and I do put it over a serum that I also use that has other exfoliating ingredients, moisturize after using them. Just little dots, like a little squeeze one part, a little squeeze another part of your face, a little squeeze forehead, chin. That should be enough. All good things do come to those who wait, so just don't rush the process. Both azelaic acid and tretinoin are prescription meds if you choose to go that route, but there are ways that you can get them online. Apostrophe has like a consulting area. Someone online sees how your skin is and gives you a recommendation by that route. If you are definitely gonna go the online route, like for instance like Apostrophe, be sure that you're actually comfortable using it and you're going to the actual site. You got to be careful with these like things online. Just that's something to look out for. Make sure you're going to the actual website and not entering sensitive information and insurance information to a random site that you don't know anything about. I keep my moisturizers pretty chill. I don't do too much. I like Aveeno's face moisturizer. It's so calming because it has the ingredients like oat in it. It's not very heavy weighted. It doesn't break the bank. They're like $11 max, $9 to $11 max. And I did also see an article where Jennifer Aniston discussed that she uses Aveeno and that is why her skin looks so youthful at her age. And I was just like, sign me up. Another one I like is Advanced Clinical's Vitamin C Moisturizer. It is more on the thicker side and it does have that light brightening ingredient like vitamin C, so it is also really good. I feel like in the winter months it would be a bit better to use it. Sunscreen is a must, and before I used to have like terrible reactions to chemical sunscreens, especially the ones, I'm not gonna call any brand names, but the ones that had #1 ingredients like avobenzone or oxybenzone in it. And every time I put it on my skin, even if I don't even get it in my eyes, like I'll put it like near to my eye area, I would go like probably like an hour, 2 hours down my day and my eyes would just like start burning and watering up, and I'm just like, what the heck? Like I didn't even put this close to my eye. My skin would start feeling hot and I would get like these breakouts because it was so like irritated. And I was like, ain't no way is this sunscreen. And I figured out it was, and I just started doing some research and figured out that mineral sunscreens with things like zinc in it were better. And I started using it and I was like, oh, this feels so much better. And I could put them like I was putting them closer to the eye area, not touching the eyes, but putting them up there, you know, making sure every part of my skin is covered, like all up here, you know. My eyes never started watering up and never started getting this burning feeling. And I was like, where have you been all my life? Insert Rihanna song. Where have you been all my life? And of course, mineral sunscreens in general are going to leave like some type of white cast. If you're using a sunscreen, start from 30 and go up. But 30 is like the baseline. You really don't have to be like, oh, should I use 70? Should I use 50? Like, you're fine if you're with a 30. Definitely do your research on which one that you want, whether you want more moisture in it. They have all SPFs with added moisture. They have some without the moisture, depending if you have more oily skin and you already put on a moisturizer underneath. It's definitely up to you. And one thing I always want everyone to know is that products are just the extra push to get that healthy, vibrant, happy skin that you are looking for. Just never use it as a band-aid and not switch anything else either in your lifestyle or within yourself that you're already doing before you even start buying a whole bunch of products and being like, yeah, I need this with this ingredient and this with this ingredient. Go to your PCP. Like, they're there to help you. Get a blood test to see if it's a hormonal issue, or see if you have to change anything with your gut diet. You could start introducing probiotics into your gut diet. You should start like cutting out, you know, juices and blend up your juices. You don't have to drink the ones that your parents or you yourself are buying from the store. Get fruits, freeze them, get a blender off of Amazon or something, and then blend them up, and you will just have your own natural juice, and they still taste just as great, and if not even better than the juices that you used to be drinking. I personally like blending up my juices now. I don't really be drinking the store-bought juices because they have all these added preservatives and flavors and dyes, and I'm just like, let me go ahead and start blending my own. And honestly, it makes me feel better. Initially start with the root cause and then go to that, because even if you go ahead and take all these extra stuff and put them on your face, it's only gonna like stifle the issue, and if not, it's gonna make it worse, because a lot of these things have these harsh ingredients, and it's gonna make your acne feel irritated and be more angry at you. Start on the internally, and then you can start working on it externally. Every body has their own separate remedy. That's why I try to not to like 100% be like, use this product, use this product. I feel like a lot of people do that, and I'm just like, do you know if they're allergic to this? Do you know if they could tolerate this? Go first to your doctor, see what the issue is, and then go and handle and see what things that work for you. That is it for today's video. I hope you found it helpful and you enjoyed it. I would love for you to join me on this community I'm building, so be sure to like and subscribe to my channel, as I will be posting updates concerning your health. If you like this video, be sure to like it. And you could also follow me on my Instagram, Kale Esprit, and connect with me over there. And until next time, as I say, remember to smile more, appreciate life more, and I'll see you guys next time.